Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 258 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. So this episode will be a really good one to share if you are so inclined. And I know I probably say that about all of them, but I guess I think they are. Okay, so have you ever been in a situation where you're annoyed by something someone did, but on a different day they did that same thing and it made you laugh? What was different? I mean, same person, same thing, but your feeling about it is different. Well, they didn't change anything for you to feel different. You did. It was you. You're looking at it differently, or maybe you didn't even notice it at all. Most of the time, we have a certain way we think people should act, and when they don't act that way, we get a little annoyed. But what do we gain from getting annoyed? I mean, do we benefit from that? I would venture to say no. And another thing I would add is this. Most people have no idea that they're being annoying. None whatsoever. They're in their own little world, just like you're in your own little world, and I'm in mine. Now, I'm just going to say this. I am not easily annoyed. I'm not one of those people that's easily annoyed. Most things really just don't bother me. Now, there are certain times of the month where I'm a little more annoyable. Girls, you'll understand. But even then, I'm learning to manage how annoyed I get. And this is one of the most powerful things you can give yourself, is that awareness that your response to something or someone, it's all about you. I mean, they don't need to change anything to make you feel better. You have the power to do it. It's very empowering to know that you can choose to feel a certain way simply by looking at it in a way that serves you. I was in the sauna at the gym the other day. I love the sauna. It feels so just relaxing. And when I get in there, it's like a meditation to me. So I like it quiet. And if I'm being real, I get a little bit of happiness if I'm the only one in there. But it's a big gym, so that rarely happens. So now I know there's usually going to be a few other women in there. And we always acknowledge each other and then go back to our silence. Well, every once in a while, there will be friends in there, and they'll be talking out loud the entire time. Now, the me before I started meditating used to get a little irritated by that. But since I've been meditating and working on equanimity, I'm learning to welcome every moment as simply part of my experience. So I'm laying in the sauna the other day, and there's another lady in there with me, and she has her earphones in, and we're just sitting there in silence for a few glorious moments when out of nowhere, she starts this loud pitch humming. I sneak a little look at her, and she has her eyes closed, simply enjoying the moment. She had no idea she was humming out loud. I caught myself immediately when I started to get a little annoyed, and I thought, wait a minute, this is part of my experience. And I just kind of smiled to myself, and I thought, I love that she's enjoying this sauna as much as I am. And I welcomed it as a moment, part of my experience. So she stopped right after that, and we sat in silence for the rest of the time. So it turned out just fine. I could have focused so much on that humming that it ruined my time in the sauna, so I end up leaving and not getting my 15 minutes in there that I love so much. And now I'm irritated the rest of the day, and I tell people about it, which causes me to start attracting more stuff just like it. That is how the world works. But I didn't let that happen. You know how when you're having a bad day, it just seems like one bad thing after another continues. And the same goes for a good day, though. I mean, you can change the momentum of your day if you notice it starting to go south, because it will just keep happening. My husband and I will often go out to dinner, just the two of us, but we have different couples that will join us periodically. So now at least once a week, we will meet this certain couple for dinner. And there have been several times we've been in a restaurant with one of them, and he will notice someone's child is watching a video and the audio is a little loud for a restaurant. And so he'll bring it to our attention because this is kind of a pet peeve for him. Well, now we all notice it. And it really has gotten so bad that we joke about it. And if there's not someone with a loud phone, just give it a minute. There will be. And it happens usually every time. But when Eric and I are alone at dinner, it almost never happens. Now, it might be there, but we would never notice it because it's not something we're in tune to or even really annoyed by. but he's looking for it, and it really disappoints him to the point now where we just expect it to be there and laugh when it happens because we're all noticing it and we're all looking for it, so it has to be there. The interesting thing, though, is we don't even notice it until he points it out. That's when we notice it. It was there all along, but we weren't giving our attention to it. What you give your attention to and how you choose to look at something, that's in your control. So in the sauna, it's a small room. So when someone hums loudly, you're probably going to notice it. But you get to control how you choose to look at it. And when you're around a lot of people, if you're looking for things that annoy you, you'll find it every single time. But if you're simply having an enjoyable time and knowing that there will be other humans that will be part of your experience, and sometimes it's going to be a screaming baby or a toddler watching cartoons on a phone so that mom and dad can eat dinner and enjoy a glass of wine for 3 minutes. When I hear a crying baby, I send parents love because as bad as it is for me, I know it's 10 times worse for them. We live in a world that we share with billions of other people. We're gonna run into situations that test our patience. Of course we are. But getting annoyed at every turn only makes things worse. Continuing to talk about the annoyances only brings more of that into your experience. Your attention is valuable real estate. Tony Robbins always says energy flows where your focus goes. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. There have been times like that for me, and sometimes you have to remove yourself from the room altogether, and that's okay too. But once you remove yourself from the room, leave your attention to the annoyance in that room as well. Don't keep it alive by continuing to bring it up. Just brings more of it. And if you're easily annoyed, maybe ask yourself why you're giving so much power to other people or outside circumstances. Could it be that you're so entrenched in your comfort zone that any little thing sets you off? The more we grow and the more we experience in the world, the more tolerant we become. I mean, you would think it'd be the opposite, but it's not. It opens your eyes to just how much we have in common with other people and how much people really actually live in their own world and aren't even thinking about you and your world at all. I mean, people who have seen a lot tend to be a little more compassionate. Another thing is to realize sometimes an annoyance we have with someone else is a reflection of something we don't like about ourselves. Always look in the mirror first. Growing yourself and making changes in yourself will have you becoming so self-aware that the little things others do will roll right off your back because you know it's not about you or against you at all. And finally, don't underestimate being hungry. Sometimes when you're annoyed, it's simply because you need to eat. That's usually for me. When I'm the most annoyed is when I'm hungry. And that's when I can laugh it off and then feed myself because I am definitely the problem. We don't benefit from being annoyed. Not at all. Quite the opposite. It usually just makes things worse. We can spend an entire day annoyed about something a stranger did in traffic that morning. That's a lot of energy spent giving your power to someone else. My challenge to you today is to recognize when you're starting to get annoyed, is there a way to laugh it off? Can you find some compassion for that person? Are you expecting too much? Don't lose faith in humanity, but don't expect other people to wow you with their manners either, because they're probably not going to. So you're going to get annoyed, you're human, but how much power you give to that annoyance, that's all up to you. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.